We live. We live. Boom.
Yes, bro.
None the wiser.
None the Wiser podcast, episode 32. We survived the apocalypse.
Still here.
Still here.
Still doing this thing, you know.
Still here, man.
To the viewers who thought we were gone, we're still here.
Appreciate you for hanging in there.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. Hope you're all well. Family good, everything blessed. Oh, wow.
You know, that reminds me of M.R. Bro, I feel like, I got like, I watch his videos, and I'm like, every time he has nothing to say, he's just like, oh, or something like something, makes some funny, like, Jamaican noise.
All time,
Yeah, man.
though, it's funny still.
Calm. Alright, cool. You were talking about Churchill.
Oh shit, we're going straight into it.
Elephant in the room at this current moment in time in London.
Elephant in the room. First of all, I'm going to say this. Black lives matter.
Yeah.
Yes, all lives matter, but black lives matter.
Also.
At this point in time, more so than other races.
Wait. Whoa. This is a case. Hold on, this is a case of white guilt. Hold on.
Wait, no.
Hold on, man.
Wait.
You worded that wrong, bro.
Alright, cool. Let's edit that. Alright, cool. Now, basically, what I'm saying is this, yeah? No, on a real. What I'm saying is this, yeah? First of all the people that are saying, all lives matter, blah, 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 yes, they do. But it's like this, yeah? If each individual race was a house, right now, for example, the black race is on fire. Are you going to go to every house to see if they're okay before you go to the one that's on fire? You're going to go straight to the one that's on fire.
Fair enough.
Basically.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm saying.
Interesting.
Obviously, all lives matter. So, yeah.
What about Churchill? Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah, so Churchill, so basically, the thing is with Churchill, yeah, so obviously, they recently ripped down, what was his name, the statue?
Colston.
I can't remember his name, Colston, and they ripped down, well, they didn't rip down, but this one got taken down. I think his name was Robert Gilligan,
Right.
which was, I think it was today or yesterday they took it down, another statue. I think that was his name, Robert Gilligan.
Edward Colston was the Bristol.
Was it Robert Gilligan? Type in Robert Gilligan, see if it comes up, 'cause I can't remember if that was his name or not.
Bob Gilligan.
No.
Oh
yeah.
I don't know.
I may have got that name
Gilligan,
from
bro.
fucking.
Bro. Who the fuck is Robert Gilligan?
Wait.
This man is innocent, bro. Rob Gilligan's
Bro,
alright.
he started everything, fam. Nah, what is his name?
Like, you talking about Cecil Rhodes?
No.
What are you talking about?
No.
Talking about the one they threw in the river? That's
Edward
Colston. Edward Colston.
What was it?
And he was apparently a slave trader, had slaves, but also donated 10 million.
Oh, Robert Milligan, not Gilligan. Robert Milligan. He's got petition to be taken down, and I think that's down today or yesterday.
Right.
Um,
That'd be in a museum or something, right?
What's everyone's thoughts on the Churchill thing then, where they defaced Churchill's?
In my opinion, right, that guy that they tore down and threw in the river, fair enough, you pissed off, and his job was fucked up. You know, even though they did say he was a big part in founding Bristol and shit like that, right? But he couldn't have done it without, obviously, the trade that he was in. But Churchill, that's messed up. I mean, you don't spray paint the memorial of a person who was actually instrumental in fighting one of the biggest racists that ever existed.
Okay, I agree.
In Hitler. So you can't deface that.
This is my argument, not necessarily for defacing it, but why I understand why people did deface it. So Churchill himself, his ideology was very like eugenics, if you know what I mean. Churchill's ideology is very eugenics. He basically believed so eugenics is obviously like where you have an ideology or you put something in place to basically improve the genetics of a population, like the quality of genetics of a population. And to do that, you basically, you basically don't bring in any other race into the population.
Right.
So obviously, with that ideology that he had,
No, that's not eugenics though. Eugenics is like you're
yeah, but
only having.
but this is what I'm saying. You're not bringing in any other race. You're trying to improve, or not improve, but depending on your ideology or your stance. Yeah. So if you was a racist and you was like a white superiorist or whatever, you would say I want no other race to mix with the white race. That's eugenics.
Yeah, but eugenics is also killing ugly babies.
But that's just going into other things.
Definition of eugenics, is a set of beliefs and practices that aim to improve the genetic
quality of human population. That's what I mean.
Killing ugly babies.
Typically by excluding people and groups judged to be inferior and promoting those judged to be superior.
Yeah, superior.
It's racist as well.
So basically, that's what I'm saying. So that was his ideology, and Churchill, obviously, he held white people in superiority. Yeah, he held high up, and black people were held at the lowest. Do you get what I mean? The only other race, to my knowledge, that he held quite in high regard was the Jews. Do you know what I mean? So, and obviously, that was probably partly why he went into Poland. You know what I mean? When the Nazi regime was trying to invade. So obviously, if you look at his actual beliefs, he did have a racist stance because he did think black people were inferior. But this is where the but comes in, yeah. But now, you've got someone like Hitler, who basically, if Hitler wasn't stopped, there would probably like black race, anyone that wasn't an Aryan white race, they probably won't be here. So now you've got two devils, and it's basically which one do you go for? The devil that's trying to stop the bigger devil, or do you
so
get
you're
what I'm
talking
saying?
about the difference between the Antichrist and the devil.
Basically, well, no. But in the long term, what I'm saying is people have their preference of Churchill because he did have racist ideologies, and he was prejudiced
and
because he thought,
acts.
do you get what I'm saying? And obviously people didn't like him as well because of the Bengal famine. Okay. He basically when the famine happened, he basically issued more food supplies to Europeans than he did to places in India. Do you get what I mean? So because of that, obviously people...
And India was part of the reason why fucking England was saved in the World War II.
So this is my point. So people, because of that history, people do look at Churchill and be like, oh no, but you're racist. But then you've got to look at, on the other hand, if he didn't step in and he didn't stop or aid to stop one of the biggest Nazis in the world, who was going to create probably one of the biggest genocides in the world, then no one will probably be here. Do you know what I mean? Only probably white Aryan race people.
Yeah.
So you've got to look at it like that. To me, that's why I don't think his thing should have been defaced. And it's almost like everyone does bad shit in their life and has a bad thing, but does an act like Churchill's act redeem him?
Do you agree that it should have been taken down?
His statue? I don't think his statue should have been taken down. No. The slave trader statue, by all means, taking them down.
Yeah, exactly.
Did I think the statues themselves should be destroyed? No. I think they should have been put in a museum for historical purposes so people can learn from it, and because you need to have things like this to learn from your mistakes. The only reason people go forward is because you need to look back and see what the mistakes were.
They kept Auschwitz.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they kept Auschwitz, all of that. So, tear it down, by all means. Destroy the actual thing, no. Put it in a museum, is my personal preference. I get why they done it. But the Churchill thing, man, I don't know, man. It's a funny one.
My opinion of this person, Churchill. So I low-key actually made a post about this. There was a biographer who wrote about Churchill, and he loved Churchill. Churchill was apparently a true hero in this person's eyes. So this person, I'm kind of paraphrasing. This person characterized Churchill as essentially the most racist person out of racists.
Okay.
Now, an act that particularly annoyed me that he mentioned in his post was when Churchill was in Sudan and personally shot at least 3 people he defined as savages.
In Sudan.
In Sudan. It's Africa.
Mm.
Now, I mean, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Who's more savage in that instant? You're in a place, the enemy is subdued, now you shoot them and call them savages. Who's the savage?
That's true. It's interesting to see because the perspective we have generally of Churchill
Is that he was a war hero?
World War II.
Or he led the country into
exactly.
victory.
The speech, we will fight them in the blah blah. We will
In
fight
the
them
trenches, we will
exactly.
fight them on the beaches.
That whole speech, when you think of Churchill, that's generally, in my mind anyway, what comes to mind. You know? So when you hear about his, I'd like to know, or I'm more curious of now, his previous conquests or his previous dealings in terms of war and relations with other countries.
This is the
I
thing.
think he's involved in Israel-Palestine.
If I recall, Churchill didn't believe in like forced sterilizations of races.
Right.
In the sense of he believed like build up the white race, and if any other race by any means sort of disintegrate, fall apart, whatever you want to call it, that was a natural occurrence.
Mm.
He didn't believe in actually eradicating a race through forced means like Hitler would have with the Jews. Do you know what I mean? Hitler actually would have committed, even though he committed genocide, but if he basically won, he would have definitely went further. And that's not just racist, that he would have killed disabled people, anyone born different. Do you know what I mean? If you had if you was born with disabilities or whatever, do you know what I mean?
The lesser evil generally is what
Yeah,
we're talking about. Yeah.
That's basically what you are talking about. But then, not that it's an excuse, but then you can argue, racism's always been about, and obviously I'm not saying it's any better or it's any worse now, but I do look at it as a cultural thing and a year thing in culture, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense?
A year thing.
What I mean is like it's like a cultural generational thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like
It changes.
go back to Churchill's times when growing up. The generational thinking would have probably been that white people are more superior. So yes, it's a racist stance on it, but also it's very ignorant, and as I was saying, and it's an ignorant stance.
Well, yeah, it's quite close-minded.
But then that's what I mean. Can you argue it was just a state of the generational and the culture at the time?
No, because there were people who opposed racism and slavery.
That's
at
true.
the time.
Yeah, that's true.
So morally, it was still on the bad side.
Yeah.
So where's the excuse? I don't know. I'm sorry, but there's no excuse for this.
Alright, we'll come.
There isn't, bruv.
Alright, we'll come down to it. Do you think his statue should be?
Yeah, it should have come down.
What, Churchill?
Hell yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, Churchill's statue should have come down. Colson's statue come down. All them slave motherfucking statues have come down. Put that shit in the racist museum so it can be in the past. People go there and remind. Don't get me wrong. Just because someone just because someone commits a good act, that good act really and truly, he's just protecting himself,
Okay.
his nation.
I get that.
It's not that he's protecting black people. It's not that. He's not protect like.
I get that. Indirectly though, he did. Indirectly, he may have done it for his own personal means, but indirectly, if that didn't happen, bruv, you think any black people or any ethnic race would be here today?
Who knows? Who knows?
No, I don't think they would.
Who knows what would have
I
happened?
don't think they would. I'm not gonna lie. I really don't.
You think Hitler would have conquered the world?
Bruv, Hitler. Think about it, bruv. Yeah, Hitler would have just took over everything, bruv. Think about it, really.
He would have tried. He
would have tried.
Bruv, remember Hitler?
He
Hitler didn't even want to have beef with fucking Britain because of his connection to Britain, because of the whole
Well, Germanic monarch.
And
Yeah,
the fact that he could fuck with Britain
Bro,
because
in
of the Navy.
just before World War One, he lived in Liverpool. Hitler lived in Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying? He had
Okay, he didn't stop him from bombing it.
No, but that's not my point. But my point is, he didn't want to attack Britain because of the white heritage from the Germanic side.
I don't care. Like, this is the thing, yeah? Hitler was bad. Churchill, bad, but not as bad as Hitler.
The enemy of my enemies is my friend.
I don't care.
Alright,
Look at if you're racist, you're a dickhead.
But then, do you know what it is though? Yeah. If you tear down all these statues, then you better tear down nearly everything else that was created in Britain because everything was built off slavery.
No, that there's not, because a statue is an honor.
Yeah,
It's an honor in that person.
a statue's a representation. But then, what about the buildings that are in Britain that was used or built through using slavery means?
Yeah.
That might not be a physical image of a person who actually committed slavery acts or whatever, but that is still a representation of slaves who built that building. What? So that should get ripped down. Everything should get ripped
that's
down.
just beyond logic. That's like ridiculous. You're not just gonna build. It's a useful building. That statue is a symbol. I don't want that symbol of essentially oppression there every day when I walk past it.
Yeah,
I don't want it there.
Yeah, but
the building doesn't matter. It's just a building.
Yeah, but it's not though.
It is though.
It's not, because that building. Let's say, for example, there is a building that was built strictly by slaves. The slaves.
It's not
who
built by the
built
slaves.
this.
It's built by the money that was from slavery.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's still, regardless whether it is built with money from slavery or the slaves built the building. The building is still a representation of things that happened in that time, and it wasn't right.
I get your perspective and I get your perspective. I understand them both fully. What I'm gonna say is that statue, right, is it's a monument to something that is English. Do you know what I mean? In that respect, it's English heritage, right? It's nothing in relation to anyone else. It's in relation to that country. And I understand what you're saying when, yes, he might have had his racial views. I'm not saying that he wanted to rid the world of other races, right? But he thought certain races were savage or inferior in some way. If what you're saying about eugenics is true, what I think it is a part of English history in the war and the defense of the country, you know, and that's what these people will always remember that man for, not for anything else, not because he is an icon of racism and we don't like those people. That's not what they think when they look at that statue. Do you know what I mean?
No, definitely.
Yeah,
but that's
so
the thing. Yeah.
I don't think that memorial is a target in that respect because it's nothing to do with this fight. That's not what that. I mean, there's a picture of a you know, I don't know, something like a Coke. And, oh no, I don't like the ingredients in Coke, so take down the thing. Do you know what I mean?
That's just personal opinion though.
Yeah.
That's not like a symbol of oppression.
Yeah. It was a bad analogy.
I wouldn't say that Churchill was particularly a symbol of oppression. He's not as bad. Definitely Colston definitely come down. Churchill is obviously debatable. My view is I don't want to see it, but I understand English people or whoever looks up to Churchill might want it there.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We're in England at the end of the day. If the English want it here, then that's it. Have it there. But at the same time, you can't keep people like Colston.
Those ones.
Take that down.
I don't even know. I wouldn't even.
Down.
Yeah, you took it down. That makes
Take
sense.
that down.
You know what I mean? Fuck that thing. I don't care about that. But when it comes to certain other things, you have to respect. It gets to a boundary. You can be mad, but at the same time, don't lose your mind.
I think there's also a recency as well. Recency because Churchill was in the last 100 or so years. It's still there. Like people still.
I think, like you said, it's not necessarily Churchill. It's just the symbolism that he represents, and the thousands and thousands of people that died in World War II. Do you know
But this
what I
is
mean?
I think it comes down to education as well. Because if you read about someone, you learn about their deeds and what they've done. Most people haven't read about Churchill, so they don't know the ins and outs of what he done growing up.
His personal
thing. So people will be like, some people who've read about him will be like, yeah, cool. he done all these bad things and he done these good things. So it's like, well,
Yeah,
I don't like him personally, but
Gaddafi, another example.
Yeah.
You know, Gaddafi was trying to do a lot of good things in Africa.
but then people will tell you in Libya or whatever
Exactly.
the bad things that he done.
Yeah.
But that's a whole next politics still.
Yeah.
That's
you know?
next. But tear down Colston and all
Yeah.
that.
Fuck those guys.
I don't give a fuck about
Yeah.
that.
Okay, man. But you know, they're starting to let people out their cages
Yeah, man.
with the coronavirus. They're saying what next week?
What coronavirus?
No, you know what?
Bro,
Yeah,
people are acting like it's not even there anymore, bro.
Riots cure corona. Riots cure corona.
Well, I mean,
proud of that.
the thing is, I don't get what people are saying that it doesn't exist. I mean, I don't believe that.
What, the virus?
I've heard people say that.
People are saying that it
People have
doesn't
said that
exist.
to
No,
me.
it exists, bro. Bro, Aston nearly fucking, what's the death total now? It's like 400,000.
No, it's not for. Well, in the world, maybe.
Yeah, in the world, not over here. No, over here it's like 40 something thousand.
What I would like for them to do, yeah, is to separate the numbers of deaths, yeah, into people who were killed by coronavirus and people who died with coronavirus, because there's a difference.
Yeah, there is a difference.
You can be like dying of something else, yeah, and because you were infected with coronavirus
That's what I was saying. It's like imagine you got cancer and you've been given a week to live, but within that week you caught coronavirus. So what are you gonna say? You died from the virus, or you died from the cancer that you had for 6 years?
Yes, so separate.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's where the numbers have been kind of inflated a little bit,
Yes.
to be honest. But it definitely exists.
That's like fucking saying someone got hit by a car and died, and he died from corona.
yeah,
No,
exactly.
you got
Coronavirus and
he's on.
Yeah, man.
So they need to separate that. That's the only thing where I will say, okay.
I agree with that.
Panicking, you know.
Panicking.
It's affected a lot of businesses positively and a lot of more businesses negatively.
I think the virus,
Yeah.
not necessarily the virus itself, but the effect that the virus will have on the economy, it possibly could kill more people, more than the actual virus.
Through starvation.
Through starvation, through job loss, through just economic downfall in general.
I mean, I think the starvation thing is probably more relevant in less developed countries.
Yes. Third world.
Whereas here, it's more about unemployment, crime probably might go up, people are unemployed, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean it has. Well, it went down actually during Corona.
Well, that's because people ain't outside.
Bro, let me tell you now, yeah, the crime rate and the stabbing rate went down like on a mad level. And literally, as soon as people start going to the beaches, boom, next day, murder.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Murder, bro. Someone got stabbed up like 6 times.
Viking Beach, where the brothers was having a punch up.
Oh, I saw that. I got the video of that somewhere on my
The
phone.
brothers having a punch up, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna have patrols now. Yeah, we're gonna start having these Corona patrols or whatever it is, man."
I don't fuck with the news, man, because the way that they're improportionately reporting this thing.
Let me tell you now, yeah. You watch BBC News, yeah. Every report, yeah. Let's say BBC News has about 10 main focused reports a day. They are circulated within that 24 hours, fucking like nearly 20 times.
Repeated.
It's on repeat, non-stop.
Yeah.
But do you know what I find interesting? You go to a channel like RT News, Russia Today, yeah? Okay, cool. They have their own sort of stance on it because like they have propaganda, because obviously they're Russia, USA, they have their certain propaganda. But that channel, that news station, and Al Jazeera, if you've ever seen Al Jazeera, bro, they will show you shit, yeah, that you didn't even know was going on in the world, bro. Why everyone's being blindsided with this coronavirus? You watch these channels, bro. They'll show you, bro. I bet half the people in the world don't even know about the fucking. I don't want to call it a mini civil war, but it's like a thing in Venezuela right now, and the Venezuelan politicians were blaming America for it. Did you see that?
Yeah. Oh, bro,
that's what
been happening.
Yeah, that's been going on for a hot minute, but that weren't all over the news, bro.
Yeah, it's not.
Do you know what I mean?
And how China just took like, what was it, 60 square miles?
Yeah, they took like 60 kilometers of India's land, bro. Like, you're not seeing that, bro. And I'm not saying, I don't want to delve into conspiracies, bro, but I do find it funny that why people are being so distracted with the virus. It's like, what is going on in the background?
Yeah, what is that?
Because right now, like I said, going back to the Black Lives Matter thing, yes, like obviously it's very, very important, yeah? But right now, if you look at the main headlines, all that's dominating is coronavirus and Black Lives Matter. What else is going on in the world that needs to be reported? Because we're not seeing it. There's so much happening.
There's always stuff.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bro, I sang, what was I reading the other day? Apparently, US naval groups were fucking entering China's water, very close into Chinese water, bro. You're not hearing
They're
about
doing
that.
that every couple of weeks, man.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, bro. The tension's so high, bro. You can't be doing that. Because what will happen is this year, between USA and China, from what I've been seeing going on back and forth here, it could slowly, easily turn into a trade war, then a cold war, then an actual conflict.
How does one even war directly in this climate? You can't. These big countries can't even fight each other because they're too powerful.
Do you know what's funny?
Yeah.
Watching
Watching
RT News, yeah, they had a report and they called it Game of Drones.
What? Because
China, apparently, I was watching it, apparently China's technology now, they don't focus on guns and big fucking naval ships with fucking cannons or whatever you put on them, yeah?
information.
Bro, they focus now on information and technology in the sense of, bro, apparently they've got drones now that, and when I mean drones, I don't mean like, as in like predator drones like USA have. Not like that kind of drones. I'm on about like quadcopter drones, bro, with fucking guns on them, bro.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Like that.
Yeah, bro. They've got technology that has just surpassed fucking USA, bro. Probably even Russia.
I don't think it's that deep though, a drone with a quadcopter drone.
No, I'm not saying it's that deep, but what I'm saying is, they're now taking away from physical people operating things to just being able to program it and being just like, you know what, let's program fucking thousands of these to fucking go to America and just kill people. For example.
Yeah, but then when you've got the ultimate reset button, both of you, it doesn't make sense. What's the point?
Yeah, it neutralizes.
You can't fight each other.
There's no fight.
That's why I've been saying.
This is why I said right now it's a trade war. Does anyone find it funny, yeah, how this coronavirus apparently started in China, yet they've had under 5,000 deaths. America's had over 100,000. Why is that?
China.
Why? Go on the worldometer right now. Go on China. Tell me why that is. And now apparently China's economy is booming just like that. If that ain't suspicious, I don't know what is. So that's how many cases. How many deaths? Go up. Because this is a record. So 416,124 deaths in the whole world, yeah? Go down. Stop. So UK, we've plus 245 people today, so we've got 41,000 people dead. We've got 1,000 new cases added, and they're saying it's going down. And then go down more. Oh wait, USA's on. So USA's had 114,639 deaths. They plus another 491 today, and they plus another 10,000 new coronavirus cases. Go down. Down until you find China. There's China. China's had 4,634 deaths. Tell me how that's possible when it's originated from there.
Tell me why has their one not been updated yet?
This is what I'm saying.
Bro, you can't believe China. I'm sorry.
I'm not going into conspiracies, yeah, but either China's had the biggest death toll in the world and they're covering it up, yeah, or they're fucking gassing, or something just isn't right, bro. Something's not right about this virus thing, bro.
Anyway, getting a bit too conspiracy.
Maybe it needs to. Bro, MI6, apparently one MI6 guy, top who was in MI6, apparently he's come out and said that there's evidence that it's been released from a lab that was uncontrollable. They couldn't contain it properly. And that's why it got leaked from a lab in Wuhan.
That's crazy.
There
was that Chinese guy that sparked it, innit? The Chinese guy who was a doctor.
Yeah, the guy
who warned them.
Apparently that guy Apparently that guy warned them like months before.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It was in like November, maybe
early, yeah, maybe even January. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it was November. He put a video and he said, listen, there's this virus, and then the Chinese government shut him down.
Yeah,
right.
they shut him up.
Like, why? So, I don't know.
Weird, man. These Chinese people and their communist behaviour.
Oh, here we go. Former MI6 spy chief claims deadly COVID-19 virus escapes.
Wales Online.
No, I see it in the Metro, but obviously this is just a general report that's going around. Yeah, virus escaped from Chinese lab
During experiments.
during an experiment. I'm not saying it's
Man,
true.
people need to stop.
I'm not saying it's
nature,
true.
man.
I'm not saying it's true, but it's funny how also Donald Trump. I'm not saying Donald Trump's the most believable person, but apparently he's come out. A lot of his officials have come out and said it.
China.
China.
Wait, no.
China.
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 No, his lip come out. China. Yeah, but I mean,
Oh, did you see the argument he had with the Chinese reporter?
no.
Oh, you gotta watch this.
Bro, Donald Trump is something else. The fact that he's willing to argue with reporters, what president have you ever seen do that?
Don't let them do that. Yo, they got their tactics though. I remember watching something and he was having this argument with this Asian reporter and she's like, why did you say that specifically to me?
Yeah, no, this is the one. This is the one.
That is rude.
This is the one.
Shooting with their hands on.
Many times that the U.S. is doing far better than any other country when it comes to testing.
Yes.
Why does that matter? Why is this a global competition to you if every day Americans are still losing their lives and we're still seeing more cases every day?
Well, they're losing their lives everywhere in the world, and maybe that's a question you should ask China. Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer. Yes, behind you, please.
Wait, watch.
She hands her question to her.
So why are you saying that to me specifically?
I'm telling you,
She
I'm
was
not saying it's
like hell no.
specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that asks a nasty question.
That's not a nasty
Please
question.
go ahead.
Why does it matter?
Okay, anybody else? Please, go ahead.
She
to that,
has to
please.
go. He's like,
I have two
No, it's okay.
questions.
You go.
you gave her
I have two
your question.
questions, Mr. President.
Next, please.
You called on me.
I did, and you didn't respond, and now I'm calling on the young lady in the back.
Shut down.
Send your pen.
Where'd you get this bag, bro?
That's a Costco.
This is a
bag.
hefty bag, cuz.
Costco. That was in a 2-pack.
Was it?
That was in a multi-pack.
See, listen, Costco's an American company, bro. This is normal like dosage, bro. Costco in America.
400 gram.
Bro, that is a normal dose in America.
Yes,
You go to
sir.
America, everything's just bigger for some reason. The cups are bigger. Like when you go to McD's, it's like, bro, why is the cup so big?
Yeah. What are they called, man? The big chugs. Big something. Bro,
Going large.
what you doing?
Yeah, man.
Yo, I drank a fucking a slush puppy, a blue one. Yeah. The next day my shit was green, bro. For like 2 days. Bro, don't eat that shit, man.
My poo.
Oh my day.
Like, you gotta know what it was.
My shit was
I mean, the
green.
chemical makeup.
My poop was green. Biopigment.
Nah,
Stool may be green due to biopigment in the stool.
nah.
If food moves too quickly through the intestine, biopigment can't break down sufficiently, so it's bile.
It was not that. Check
It's-
out.
it's
Go
green-
to
it's
something
green
else,
bad.
man. That's just like the top result.
Is green poop bad? Although green
What's the
stools-
NHS shit?
You got a health line. There's no NHS here, bro. Why is my poop green?
Bro, it's fucking food colouring.
Underlying medical condition, no. Antibiotics, no. Recent medical procedure, no. Bacterial infection, no. Bro, you see these websites? They're so dangerous, you know. They'll have you thinking
But
about
you know what it
dying,
is? You know
bro.
what it is? Yeah, there's so much information that's false online now. It's just like, what do you believe? What do you believe?
It's probably something you ate. Okay, kale, spinach, broccoli, blueberries. Fair enough. Bile pigment, as we just said.
Whatever, innit?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Them.
No, bro. None of those things are wrong with me, though. That's the thing. I have none of that shit, bro. It's
That's
just
what I'm
food colouring. Weird shit. Maybe it was something like that. I don't know.
Anyone see the Little Britain thing where they cancelled it? Because of the blackface thing.
Your race is hot right now. If you're racial.
This is a genuine question. Does anyone here like Little Britain?
Yeah.
I've watched it in the past, yeah.
Okay, cool. You find it funny?
Yeah, man.
I love Little Britain. I find it funny. But
I don't like it.
where do you draw the line with comedy and racism?
Excuse me.
I mean, personally, with the Little Britain, I think they took the piss out of everyone. So it's kind of like...
It's like South Park. They get everyone. Everyone gets it equally.
Personally, I don't give a fuck about it.
Okay. Why do you feel... Obviously, it's not... That's a dumb question. Not why do you feel people are taking offence to it, because I get why people would take offence to it, but you're talking about a show that was from what year? Probably like early 2000s?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been around for
Do
a
you
long
think
time, though.
over the years humour's changed? And now people who look at that now, like back in the day, people probably would have laughed. You think they'll look at it now and just think,
It's
"Oh,
the
this
hot
ain't funny."
topic.
Yeah.
It's the hot topic. If you're doing anything, bro, if you're doing a man for speeding and he's black, bro, you're gonna get fucking heat. Do you know what I mean? Like right now, it's a peak situation. So that was just unfortunate. Somebody was probably watching it
Do you know
in
what
their
happened?
house. They were probably watching it, and the guy comes out in blackface and they're like, "Oh my god, that was racist, bro." And they're like writing emails and shit. Do
Do you know what happened with this though?
on social media.
No, I haven't. It might be just me, yeah. But I don't know why, but nearly all white people that I've seen lately who are talking to black people, yeah, they're talking to them. You know what? It's like I can notice the difference on how they're talking to them, and it's like they're talking to them in such a way that they feel like they've got to literally watch everything they say.
But why should you have to watch everything you say?
But that's my point. But I can see it. I can see that people are not. They're being very like. What's the word? They're being very. Bruv, like they're just being like they're not talking to black people how they would normally talk to black people because they feel like anything they say is going to offend them.
I don't know, I haven't witnessed it, so...
I've witnessed it. I've seen it happen, bro. I see someone today stuttering around a black brother, bro. I was like, why stuttering? Bro, in myself, I'm like, bro, it's like you trying to perceive yourself to be a certain way is weird to me now. Because now you're talking to that particular black person differently than what you was. So now it's like, are you trying to cover up something?
Yeah.
Or is it? Because now it's like, I don't know, bro.
You know what it is?
It's
It's like that thing that you've done a million times. Yeah? Whatever it is that you've done a million times, and then all of a sudden there are stakes. Then you're suddenly like, oh fuck.
That's what it's like.
Fuck this up now. It's like,
That's what it's
you've
like.
done it a million times,
Because
but you don't want to fuck it up.
Because you know what it
this
is, yeah? I was basically chatting to this guy in there at work here, who's a black guy, yeah? And I was chatting to him, and then this other guy was basically talking to this other black guy. And we both clocked between us that this white guy was being a certain way, yeah? And we both started laughing, didn't it, yeah? And then we both was like to each other, like, I don't get why he's trying to come across a certain way, like he was racist before, but no, he's not trying to be, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Not saying that guy was racist, but it's just that's how it felt.
Doesn't want you to think
Yeah.
that he's...
And we just like between the two of us, we found it funny because like I'm just chatting to this guy now, like just normal, bro. You know what I'm saying? But then you got other people who is just like they're trying to like tiptoe, and I'm like, why are you tiptoeing, bro?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nothing's changed.
Bro,
It's just like...
because the Black Lives Matter movement is happening, it's not. They're not calling every person racist,
Right.
You know what I mean? You ain't got to be defensive, bro.
Like I go to people's doors every day, yeah. In different parts of the fucking country. Do you know what I mean? Like we in Devon, you're Brighton, you know what I mean, London.
There's a man at the door. Wait, you know how they do it.
Imagine it, innit? The curtains switching. What's he look like? You know what? Yeah, I'm laughing, but you know there's real people like that, innit?
Oh no, because this is the
like
thing,
that,
yeah. I feel like a lot of people, especially people who aren't around black people, yeah. When it comes to addressing race, in just normal conversation, they're a little bit hesitant. For example, I don't know, you see presenters on TV,
Piers Morgan.
even to suggest someone's race, they take a second before they say the word black. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's like a.
See, you know the crime rate of the black community.
It's just that.
The black.
You know what I'm saying? They can't think of a better way to say it, so it's like, fuck it. The black.
Bro,
It's just a hesitation.
I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Because you know what it is, yeah? Like, just, I can't speak for every white person. I can only speak for myself, and I've said this in previous posts on Instagram, yeah? I can only talk for you, bad still. I can only talk for myself, innit? I've been around black people my whole life, bro. You get what I'm saying?
It shows.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, for me personally, because I was thinking about it the other day, yeah, I've never been, although my family obviously white, I've never been what you would call someone that has had a lot of white friends. Does that make sense? So when I see people who are white, who do have particular views, who chill with a lot more white people, to me it's very odd. Because I don't share that same thought process, because I've only ever grown up with black people or...
How do you feel around white people who grew up just like white?
White. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because you're white, so do you still feel the difference culturally?
So, do you know what it is? So I got white people who obviously I know, but they're from London. And I feel people from London...
It's metropolitan.
Yeah, it's kind of a metropolitan thought process in a sense. I'm not saying you ain't got white racists or whatever in London, but what I'm saying is, so if I know a white man from Broccoli, more times out of 10, I know he's gonna chill with people that are black. And you get what
I'm talking about white people.
When
white people.
When I come across certain white people, I don't necessarily feel uncomfortable, but I do in the sense of I know I can't be myself. Does that make sense? I feel I can't talk how I talk now. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel they'll look at me and be like, bro, I've had it before, innit? I've had white people turn around to me and be like, why are you talking black?
See, that's the dumbest statement I've ever heard, bro. That's the dumbest question.
Why are you talking black, bro?
What are you talking about talking black?
I didn't know you could talk a colour.
Yeah. What? It's a culture. It's a culture.
This is my point.
Colour.
This is my point. So but it's funny because I don't feel. So when people say that to me, because I've had it so many times. Why are you talking black? You're a wigger, blah blah blah. Yeah, and it's like I feel uncomfortable not because I feel embarrassed about the statement they've just made. I just feel more ashamed that you don't get it from my perspective. Like you have this strict main like thought process of because you're white, you've got to be prim and proper, talk like the queen's etiquette and all that shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But the truth is, like, I wasn't raised the same way you was. I was raised around black people. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
I'm not the same as you. It's like someone said to me, someone said the other day they had an argument I see online, innit? I can't remember who it was with. And they were like, can white people say Wagwan?
Yeah.
And my thing was this, bro. I've been saying Wagwan since I was in fucking year 3, cuz.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
Don't say Wagwan if it's not natural for you. That's the way I see it.
I was saying this since year 3. You can't tell me not to say it.
People can tell if you're...
Because the way I say it, yeah, people want... Because it's funny, yeah, because I've had black people say to me, why do you talk like that as well? And that's the funny thing. And it's like, I've been saying certain words, bruv, yeah, because I've adopted certain words, yeah. But then at the same time, from a white perspective and a black perspective, you want to have a go at me for talking a particular way because I don't fit in this category and I don't fit in this category. But at the same time, everyone wants to preach about unity and human race as one and all of this, but then you want to persecute me for talking a certain way. So where do I fit now in this stigma?
That's like don't learn other languages.
But this is my point. You want to be so culturally mixed. So cool. I've adopted words from this culture. I've adopted words from whatever culture. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like don't judge me. You don't know me.
Yeah.
And that's why I've always said never judge someone by not even how they talk, but how they look, talk, whatever. Because, bruv, you could have like the fucking, not in a deep way, but you could have like the most unarticulated person in the world, bruv, yeah. But they've got the best soul ever.
Yeah, man.
So they'll ever judge someone.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. You can. This is what I say about the color of the skin thing. Yeah. You can say, okay, that man's black, that man's white. It's obvious, yeah, congratulations, you figured that out. But you can look at a person and see what their culture is, where they're from. Okay, you can say from certain cultures, Japan, China, don't wear your fucking shoes in my house. Yeah, you probably watch pay with your shoes before you come in his house.
You got to put in Japan, what's it called, wabaki. You got to put the wabaki on.
Wooden signs on. Or, you know, in Nigerian culture, you might posturate. Is that the word? Posturate on the ground when you meet someone who is worth respect, you know, or in your eyes at least anyway. You can make assumptions about a way a person might interact with you, right, based on their culture, right? But you can't make assumptions of character, based on skin color or intelligence. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool. You meet a Somali person, you might know things about Somali culture, and you can make some assumptions about that person based on that culture, or French, or Italian. They might want to kiss you on both cheeks, whatever the fucking thing is. Yeah, there are things you can safely assume. Yeah, but you can't say, okay, he's a black person, he's a cunt. You can't say that. You can't.
Yeah, like if I didn't know Adam,
character, and that's what Martin Luther King was talking about, right?
Yeah, true. If I didn't know Adam, I could probably quite confidently suggest.
Be careful what you say.
Your bangers and mash though. It's true though. He likes bangers and mash. Do you think I'm joking? I like bangers and mash. Bangers and mash
is hard. It is hard. But you know what it is though, yeah? There's a difference though, yeah? Because I won't have the wolf sausages, cuz man's having straight Cumberland flavoured apple, what's it called? The apple filled sausage and the caramelized red onion sausages.
Fair enough, he's a bougie. You know?
I'm a bougie with
caramelized. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like rolling up to a West African and being like, yo, jollof rice?
Yeah, exactly. You can safely assume that. You can kind of assume. You can't say, oh, you're racist.
Yeah.
That's not racist. That's a pretty safe assumption to make.
It's like,
it's not offensive.
It's like, so say for instance I enter a particular culture that I've never been around before, yeah? Would someone, in my opinion, you can't judge me on how I come across to that particular culture, especially if I'm polite still and that. Cool, maybe I won't do the certain things that particular culture does. Like for instance, like you said, like sitting on the ground, like paying respect to elders, blah blah blah. Like I'll obviously pay respect to elders, but I might not do certain things. But you can't judge me on that basis because it's a learning process. Once I learn, I have to sit on the ground, I have to whatever. Then cool. If I don't do it, then you can maybe judge me because it's like you know what to do now. Like you know what to be expected of when you come to this particular culture, and you know how to act a certain way. If I knew that and I had that knowledge, then you can start to judge and be like, well, that's a bit. What's the word? It's
disrespectful.
Yeah, a bit disrespectful. Yeah. Like you know how to act, but you're not acting like that. Yeah. But if you're judging me on my pure ignorance of not knowing how to act within a particular culture, then that's a bit different because you need to give me time to learn.
You're just angry.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's a funny one. Racism to me is the dumbest thing, bro. You're literally judging someone on a decision they never had. I didn't choose to be white.
So bro, most of this shit stems from the fact that people don't, they're not exposed to different cultures. Kind of, because
Bro,
I could know, even if I've never met you before, yeah, and I hear how you speak to me, I'm not even gonna question it, bro, because I've been around other people who look like you or whatever and speak like you and whatever. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you're familiar with it, it's not alien to you and you're not gonna question it. So when a dude from wherever, I don't know, Cambridge or whatever, I don't know,
Yeah.
there's loads of white people who haven't been around it, he's gonna think, why is this white person talking?
It's
like
like-
this? He's not been exposed.
Like, I never understood the whole stigma thing of white people thinking black people like chicken.
Everyone loves fucking
Bro,
chicken.
do you know, bro?
Have you seen KFC, bro?
Do you know how much chicken I'll bang out, bro? Don't talk about black people, bro, because I've done been eating chicken and I'm white.
I mean, everyone eats chicken, so I don't know why.
No,
I'm saying.
but there's always that general thought process from certain white people that black people just love chicken. Like they love chicken more than the average person.
Yeah.
And I never understood it.
Yeah.
Never
To be
understood it.
honest, it's like number 4 on my meat list. You know what I mean? It's not even that great to me.
Bro, I love chicken. But if you're coming from a meat list now, bro, there's better meats than chicken, bro.
Yeah.
I'll slap lamb up there.
Lamb?
Are you mad?
Beef?
Beef, lamb.
What, you mad?
Come on, man.
Like venison? Bro?
Venison
A bit
as
of
well.
deer?
Venison's quite gamey, though.
Mm.
It is gamey, but it's nice. If it's done right.
Fish?
Yeah, even fish, bro. Salmon, smoked haddock,
Come on.
mackerel, sprats, all of this stuff, bro. Are you mad? Come
Yeah.
on.
Chickens.
I've been squeezing my orange juice.
That's work, man.
It's not. I just cut 2 oranges, squeeze them in. Take some
And what you
time.
got? You got the proper
You
squeezers in.
got the squeezer. Okay.
You just squeeze it over it, boom.
Yeah, that's it, innit? It's done.
Bro, it's so much more banging than this. Yo, I don't drink this.
You need
but-
good oranges though.
Today-
Where do you get your oranges from?
But I never drink fizzy drinks. But
That's the thing.
Where do you get
You
your
need
oranges
good
from?
oranges.
little.
Littles.
Yeah.
What's your method for finding
man.
good
They
oranges?
taste different.
Do you know
every
what?
time.
That's a problem.
And I'm not saying this to put you up. Lidl's oranges are nice, yeah, but I bought a batch from Lidl's the other day, and it had a cocoon on it.
You what?
I've not had that problem.
A cocoon. From
Not
kind of cocoon?
I don't want to say on it. I don't want to say on it, but it looked like a hole's been bitten out,
You know
and
about
within
figs?
in it there was like a spider thing in it.
I've not had that problem. I don't know why you have these.
You know figs, yeah? They absorb fucking bees, bro. Yeah?
What?
They,
What are you talking
What?
about?
bees, what I've heard anyway, is that bees.
It's spreading.
But the bee,
No,
the bee lands on the thing and it just sucked in, man. Like,
bees and figs.
According to HuffPost, because fig flowers bloom internally, they need a special process for pollination. They cannot rely on the wind or bees to spread their pollen. That's where the fig wasp comes in.
Wasp.
Oh, so it's a specific
It's
wasp.
a wasp
oh,
that lives in or it dies inside the fig, and the fig just eats it.
that door open.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, here we go. Are there dead wasps in figs?
Are one of my favorite foods. They're sweet and
Smiley.
floral, and there's something about the texture that I find so delightful. The outside is soft, but the seeds in the middle give you this.
We didn't come here,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, for that.
Yeah, you know, so we're not buying figs.
Pollen are attracted to young figs. They enter through a tiny opening at the fig's bottom that's highly selective. It usually only lets in the exact species of wasps that pollinate it. But even the pollinators have a hard time getting in. Most lose their wings and antennae in the process. The wasp's goal is to find a home for her babies. And the perfect home is inside the fig's female flowers. Those are the ones that would produce seeds if they were fertilized. So the mama wasp drops a fertilized egg into as many of the female flowers as she can. Sometimes those flowers begin to develop.
What is that? Did you see that white thing?
It just comes out.
Yeah, that's That's weird, man.
seeds. Once the wasp is finished laying eggs, she usually dies inside the pit. Goodbye, cruel world. Each baby wasp begins to grow, encased in a protective structure that the plant forms
This is such a weird relationship.
called a gall. The male wasps mature first. When they emerge, they find the galls of the female wasps, many of whom are their sisters, poke inside
Oh, incest. Fig wasp incest.
and impregnate them before they've even hatched.
Incest. Wait. Fam, nature has no boundaries, blood.
Alright, cool. I want to go from this quickly. Have you seen the strawberry video?
No, wait, no, because you're not acknowledging what's happened here.
Alright, cool. You're saying that when you see the
Hold
strawberry.
on. The fig wasp, the female fig wasp comes, yeah? She goes in the bottom of the fig, the hole, and she fertilizes.
By the way, the whole
She's selective about the pig bum hole. Then she goes in.
Well, she fertilizes the fig
Bro,
on the
she
inside.
puts her white dick inside the fucking thing.
She's got a dick.
Fertilizes the sack with her seeds or whatever the fuck.
The fig flowers.
The fig flower thing. And then, bruv, she fucks off and dies or whatever, yeah? And then she dies, man, male wasp that doesn't have wings, comes to the fig that's been fertilized and fucks the unborn children.
What? Is that why that says this seems wrong?
Yeah! That's where we're at!
Oh my days, bro. What, so right now he's fucking their children?
Unborn wasps.
Bro, what kind of Jimmy style fuck is this,
inside the
bro?
fig, but not before boring tiny holes through the fig's skin. When the females do emerge, the fig has just started producing pollen. The female wasps pick up some of that pollen before making their way through the holes their brothers drilled and go off to find a new fig to start the
Bro, you literally just been born, just do
But
it all
the
over it.
story's not over. At this point,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I don't know, bro.
Normally, I mean, I'm assuming once they fly from one fig to the other, they're carrying the pollen to repollinate the other figs.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Fuck me, bro. Alright, type in strawberries. Strawberries and bugs and white wine vinegar. Yeah, that's it, in salt water. Type that in.
Wait, what?
Yeah, bro, apparently every strawberry you eat is just a madness, bro. It's got all bugs in it.
No, what do you mean?
Bro, you think I'm gassy?
I was using Google Analytics and hated it.
Blah, blah,
I don't want to hear you talk.
The TikTok community has launched food trends like pancake cereal and Starbucks Frappuccino hacks, but sometimes the article reveals truths that are a little harder to swallow. Krista Torres,
Did she say why you?
I don't know. Where the sun?
Look, soak in your strawberries in salt water.
No.
The gross reason you should soak. Oh, okay, fair enough. Are you sure that's not it?
Oh, it is.
For God's sake!
Strawberries in salt water. Why? Because users have been finding that bugs live inside the berries. Torres decided to investigate the claim, which she totally didn't believe could be true, until she actually tried it. Torres filled a bowl with
And the
water,
guy at
room
work who wants to have
temperature,
done this,
poured in a lot of sea
with a
salt,
fresh pair of,
threw strawberries
fresh
in,
batch of
and then
strawberries.
waited for about 30 minutes. There were no bugs floating around in the bowl like she had seen in the TikTok videos, but to her horror, when she picked up the strawberries, she discovered bugs, which she also described as worms crawling out of them.
I am so disgusted right now.
Where did these worms come from? Torres did some research and found out that they are the offspring of a type of fruit fly, also known as the spotted winged drosophila, or SWD, that can be found throughout most mainland U.S. states. Cornell University reported that this fly is most attracted to berries such as raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, and strawberries. The SWD is notable because it lays eggs inside fresh fruit,
Dirty
often
fucking
before harvest.
flies, man. I hate them shits. Fuck off.
I'll never eat strawberries again.
Bro, the guy at my work done it, and it happened to him with his strawberries. He got his strawberries from Savers or something.
Send that video to Sainsbury's. Do it. Send the video to Sainsbury's and be like, I want money back.
and I need extra money back.
Yeah. Compensation. Emotional.
Yo, that's
I ate some of those.
See, this the thing about fucking this the thing about fruit.
Man felt it so necessary to pick up the whole thing.
You get more.
This is the thing about fruit, man. Bro, the thing about fruit, bro. Nah, man. Like, at least with, like, when you cook food, all this shit, like, can just die, bro.
Yeah, it dies.
These fresh berries and that.
I like fresh fruit.
Yeah, I like fresh fruit.
Fresh fruit, bruv, it's nature's sweets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not put me off. I mean, bruv, it's just extra protein, bro.
Yeah, give me that.
But it's just the thought in it of it, I guess.
Do you reckon that's been a part of, like,
Probably.
yeah, like people have been doing that and we haven't
It
realized.
might even interact with your body in a certain way where you might not even realize.
Yeah,
I think
Might be
like
beneficial,
that,
might be negative.
How long is like fertilizer and that being around? Like all that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Fertilizer, why?
Well, they're meant to have those pesticides.
I used to think about all the time we spent in Florida, yeah, on those golf courses and that, and in those villas where they spray that grass with all that shit, you know, and you think, is it really fucking with people?
No, man, there's so much I don't trust. That's why, like, I've been trying to get away. Just like why I started squeezing the orange juice, because it's just like all this. I can't have this. This is the first physical
all the time. You can't have this all the time. Must matter.
But I like my shit fresh because I know that it's just an orange. It's a one.
yeah, there's nothing.
Before that
nothing
point,
else in
obviously
it.
they might have sprayed whatever to get rid of insects, or you know what I'm saying. But I do what I can control.
Of course.
Whereas those orange juices in the carton, they put stuff in there.
Yeah.
From anybody you know, if you squeeze oranges and leave it in the fridge for a day, it separates.
Yeah, separate. Yeah.
You can't like all that fresh orange juice that just stays together and it's just like what are you got
But
doing
better
to
than
this?
that, if it's got a long shelf life, bro, you know there's shit in it.
Oh,
You know there is.
And what is that stuff doing to
The
people?
ones you go into the supermarket and you can see that it's separated, you should probably buy that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's one that Sainsbury's makes that you can see the separation of the orange juice from the bits.
No matter think people get past the separation of it. Bro, buy that, shake that, bro. Shake that, bro.
But yeah, worms in fruit. Fucking man.
Yeah, that's all crazy, man. Bro, there's fucking tribes that eat this shit, man. Grubs and that, bro. I was watching a documentary on
bushmeat.
Not bushmeat.
Some bushmeat, yeah.
Not bushmeat. On
some grass cutter. You want some grass cutter? Add it to the
grass cutter. Who are those people from Australasia? Polynesia. The Polynesian. You know those tribes in Papua New Guinea. Mate, they eat grubs. They eat all types of shit, man.
Bro, apparently, you know them big,
Yeah.
you know like the big grubs that you can get. Bro, apparently the protein in them is just ridiculous. Bro.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that program? It's called Naked and Afraid.
Yeah.
That's mad, innit?
They just got the.
They literally got a loincloth. They basically get thrown in. So the one I watched the other day, I think they were in Kenya, and they basically just get thrown into the fucking wild, bruv, yeah, and they ain't got nothing, bruv. They've just got a loincloth to cover their nakedness, bruv. And that's it. Yeah. Yeah, bitches are in there. And basically, so basically, like you might have, you might have a woman who goes in there, and then you'll have a guy.
What? Random fucking phone number. Imagine that.
And you answer.
Hello?
Have you been recently involved in a car
accident? Oh, okay. Yeah. You're making a delivery to my house.
Oh, fair enough.
I think you didn't answer.
Yeah.
I quite like this shit.
Bro, these Cheetos, I first came across them in Florida, mate. They were so banging.
They're bad.
And we didn't have them in England.
They're bad. Yeah, so Naked and Afraid, you can basically take a woman, you get a woman, and then what they do, they weigh the person and that, and they, all their whatever, and you know what I'm saying, yeah? And then like you might have a man, and then they basically put them together in the wild, and then, bro, that's it. You gotta survive. You gotta survive 20, is it 21 days or something? Bro, you gotta survive, you gotta hunt, you gotta build your own fires. But it's interesting because some of these people are like, nah, like they catch mad diseases and they're like, no, we just can't go on no more. Or sometimes they get pulled out of the thing because they're just too ill. But the people that do make it, they put a pic, like they put a little thing up of how they look before to how they look in the wild, and the weight loss that they
Oh
get,
yeah, bro, it's seemingly quite real.
Watch it, bro. I watched one where this guy had no protein. He needed the protein, bro, yeah. Bro, he came across a skull of a parrot. Yeah, a skull of a parrot with the most minutest bit of meat on it still, yeah. After it's been yammed up already, bruv, yeah. And he cooked it, yeah. And he just gnawed away at the skull of this parrot. That's how deep the show is, bruv. You should watch it.
What are you bugs, man?
It's called Naked and Afraid.
I get it, yeah, because when I'm hungry, that's when I'm at my maddest.
Yeah.
Don't pick like
that must be evolutionary.
Yeah, it's like yo, I need to eat something.
Yeah, it's like that evolutionary
bro. This is what I said. Yeah. This is what I said. You put a fucking vegetarian in a room with a cow and no other food source, you are gonna kill that cow and eat it, bro, regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care, bro. Hunger does things to people, bro. I don't want to hear that.
Most definitely.
I don't want to hear nothing.
I think we might have forgotten that, you know. And that's why we've afforded to have vegans.
What people need to realise.
Otherwise, you just fucking.
Yeah, what people need to realise, like, cool, you're human, cool. You have a civilized manner or brain, whatever, cool. Bro, you still got the primal brain inside of you, bro.
Yeah, of course.
You still got instincts, bro, that take over, bro. What do you think the whole sex drive thing is, bro? It's primal. You know what I mean? It's there, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And that will happen with hunger.
That's what I'm saying. I've always wondered why I get angry when I'm hungry.
Bro, I get hangry, bro.
Yeah. You can't. No, I need to eat now. Shut up! I need to eat. Bro. I need food. Give me some.
That's what I like. If I'm out and I'm hungry, and then I got people that want to do stuff before I eat, bro. I'm like, no, I gotta eat, bro. But they don't get it, and I'm like, bro, gotta eat. You fuck off.
Trust me. You know people are like, oh, I won't eat that crocodile with that. Bruv, you'll fucking eat that crocodile. Trust me, bro.
I'm gonna die. No,
you'll see him and you'll stop.
No, you won't. Die.
You'll see that thing in the water and you stop. And you'll just be like, oh, fuck.
Let me tell you now, you're that hungry. You see that grub wriggling out of that tree, bro. You're gonna look at that like it's a fucking mini cocktail sausage, fam, and you're gonna eat it, like. You know what I mean?
The soggy cocktail sausage.
But that soggy cocktail sausage, you'll be thankful for, bro. When you ain't ate that in 3 days, bro.
Bro, I watched the documentary. This guy spent, I think it was 300 days on an island or something like that on his own.
Oh, that guy.
Is this the millionaire, ex-millionaire?
No. It was on YouTube, just a random video. Yeah, bro. Like, he basically stayed 300 days on an island, and he did pretty well, to be honest. Obviously, he lost weight, which most people do. Became like a grizzly man, you know, with a beard and everything.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, yeah, man. I think it probably would sober you quite a lot in that sense, because you haven't got everything at your disposal.
Wilson,
you need to really think about your survival.
Yeah, I think in them situations it's a fight or flight thing, isn't it? I think a lot of people they'll panic in a situation, but I think you need to come down to kind of like a reasoning and just be like, look, I know what I need to do to survive. I know what I need to survive. So let's just try to find it. You know what I mean?
He caught a wild pig, bro.
That's hard.
He caught a wild pig, yeah?
That's hard.
He dug a ditch. He got to a point where he was like, I need meat, bro. And then he went into the jungle. He dug a ditch. And because he knew that pigs were around the area or whatever, he come across whatever, yeah. He dug a ditch, he covered it with leaves, and he came back, I don't know, a day later or whatever, and there was a baby pig.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't matter.
No, but he cared. He cared.
What?
He kept the pig. Yeah, because he had other things to eat.
Was he feeding it to get it fat?
I don't know. Anyway, long story short, the pig ended up running away.
The pig was like, fuck you. I'm gone.
But it's like, you're too compassionate, isn't it?
Yeah.
People eat baby pigs though.
Breaking his neck, bro. I don't
know, because there's no logic in that. There's no logic in that. You eat a lamb.
People eat baby cows and shit.
Yeah, but
I don't give a fuck.
I've not ever had baby pig.
I don't care, bro. His head coming off. The tank is separated his head from his neck. Yeah, but that pig is dead.
I don't get why people. Obviously, lamb is so banging. bro.
Yeah.
I don't get why people always pass up their nose like goat.
No, it's just a
Bruv.
Or mutton. Let me say mutton, not goat, but mutton.
You goat, a
So
curry
what?
goat,
Bro,
bruv.
mutton, bruv. You cook that right, bruv.
Yeah,
You
it's just
season
old,
it.
innit?
I don't give a fuck, bro. Because you know what it is? People don't like it because it can be a bit tougher. But bro, depending on how you cook it, bro. If you slow cook that mutton, yeah, with banging flavors, yeah, you're gonna get some
That's some
tender
first
meat.
world shit. Oh,
Yeah.
mutton. Oh, fuck you,
You're
bro.
gonna get
Yeah, mutton.
You're gonna get some tender meat, boy, and it's
Yo,
gonna taste
listen.
banging.
I'm not even being funny, yeah. People used to pass up the organs. Like, oh, I just want the legs and the breast and
Kidney?
yo, listen.
You gonna pass
you
up a
see the
kidney, bro?
Like, you see the liver? That's the most densely nutrient-packed piece
Yeah,
of
liver.
food that you ever get your hands on.
Bro, even a cow foot.
Yo, there's a reason when a wolf pack kills something,
Yeah,
the alpha male
leader
takes
gets the liver.
They get the liver, they get the heart, whatever.
Yeah.
Because that, yo, I'm getting the nutrients.
That's true.
You lot can have the
I protect you.
in all
So
that.
I want the nutrients.
I need
want
the
proper
what's at the
things.
center.
Yeah.
That's where the nutrients passes through.
Yeah,
Blood.
they can smell it. And
Yeah.
they just, you know.
Which is like iron.
Do you know what it is? I think a lot of people were just ain't adventurous nowadays. But I remember when I never had chicken hearts. I hit with this and then I had chicken hearts. I was like, bro, this is so.
It must be tiny. I've never had
Yeah, they're
it.
small. They're small. You get bare on like.
Yeah, banging. I sweet. Didn't you come
I've
with this
never, I've never had
bro?
chicken heart.
We'll go with this Rico, yeah.
When all this is
Bro,
over.
when all this is done,
Yeah.
and we'll get some chicken hearts. And when I tell you, they're banging, bro. Like you just don't think it to look at them, but you're like, yo, I'm eating a chicken
What?
heart.
They must be
so
seasoned.
nice.
You gotta
Yeah, the
try it.
season. But they're nice, bro.
And you know, it's part. A lot of the flavor comes from the grill as well, though.
Yeah, the grill,
Because-
the charcoal,
That's
the
like-
smoky,
Mm-hmm.
100%.
That's part of it. That's why you get not just charcoal. You got different types of wood to get
Yo,
different
have you
flavors.
seen these Japanese indoor grills?
No.
It's like a box, and you can put indoor coals on your indoor grill.
How does the smoke
I don't know.
get out?
I really don't know. There's Japanese indoor grills, bro.
I want to go
Yeah,
to.
touring.
I can't lie. I want to go to a restaurant where they cook the food in front of me.
Oh, those? Yeah, that's like Korean. Is it Korean?
I think, yeah.
Probably Japanese.
That's
I think it's more
Japanese. It's
Japanese,
Benihana.
yeah.
It's Benihana.
Benihana. Is that what Benihana does?
Yeah, they cook it in front of you.
See, I want to go to one of them.
Has he
man.
got one?
Yeah, it's called a yakitori.
Okay.
Indoor
Some
fucking
clay
grill,
pot.
blood.
Looks like a plant pot.
And he puts some kind of.
Oh, he's making his own.
He's got coal.
Oh, he's making his own, but you can buy these fucking things, bro.
Yeah, I don't know how. There's no smoke.
You know it is, yeah.
It's a special kind of coal as well. It's not a normal
Right,
kind of
see,
coal.
YouTube.
It might be like a shisha kind of coal.
YouTube will teach you things, bruv, that you
Yeah.
just didn't even know.
Yeah,
Trust.
yo, that is crazy though.
That is hard. What? So the coals are on in the first.
There's coal
the
in
first
the,
pot.
in the clay terracotta there, and it's on a stone.
That is
Yo, bro, don't
hard.
walk around. You just did this with some fucking plant pots.
That is hard.
Yeah, that is sick. Yeah, man. There's so.
Let's go
Ah, look at his
pieces
face.
of meat. Little
Bro.
three pieces of meat.
Imagine slapping some wagyu on that, bruv.
Oh,
Wagyu,
bro.
Wagyu's fucking
Oh, with the
steak,
fat.
bruv, with the fat all marbling and.
Yo, we need to cook something. We need to cook something on this.
We can cook something, bro. We'll get one of the indoor grills.
Bro, we'll
bang
get
it in
one.
there.
We should get a yakitori grill, bro.
Oh.
Bang it.
I get it now, though. I get it now because if it's working from coals, then you won't have no smoke.
Yo, we should cook everything on a yakitori grill.
We could.
Oh, we should get a
We
big
could
yakitori
actually do
grill,
that.
bro.
We should just do what this guy done.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, we can make about 5 of them, bro. and
Yeah.
just next to each other, cook different meat. on it.
Sick, bro.
Bro, I love seeing shit like that.
Yo, the guy that was on Rogan recently, the fat dude, he owns the Felix restaurant
Okay,
in
yeah.
LA, bro. And he was talking
What's
about.
What's his name? I didn't see it.
I saw it, but I haven't watched it yet.
I forgot his name. But he's talking about how these Italians, they make pasta, so passionately, and there's just something about fresh pasta that's just so good. You know, someone's just so into pasta.
Don't get baffled. Don't get baffled by his finesse.
I'm not,
because these guys are trying to sell you something as well. Don't get too. It's probably banging as well.
No, it's banging. You know, banging.
I love fresh pasta much better than dry.
Bro, that restaurant is the best. That pasta with the salmon.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I was assuming that was fresh pasta.
Yeah, it was definitely.
That was some quality food.
I was craving.
That was quality food, man.
Yeah, I don't think I've had fresh pasta in a restaurant here. I mean, I don't know.
If I've had fresh pasta, I'd like to think I would know. Do you know what I mean?
You can tell.
So, to my knowledge, I haven't. And if you do give me fresh pasta, it wouldn't.
I don't think I've ever eaten pasta in a restaurant.
You haven't?
No.
You know, the only place I ate pasta was
fresh pasta.
Zzz's, bro. No, I don't even like
Zzz's whack.
I don't even like it.
It's the thing, I've never been to like a mad Italian restaurant. And if I have been to an Italian restaurant, like proper one, I've ordered like a margarita pizza.
I'm gonna be real.
Do you know what I mean?
See, Italian food, because I've not been proven wrong yet, I hold it, yeah, at the very lowest form.
Italian
food, yeah.
What, the French?
I don't think so.
What have you had that's French?
No, that's the thing. I can't say French in it. So obviously I hold it. French. No, when I say what I mean is out of the generic like food, so like Chinese, Turkish, Italian, like American fried food, Japanese, Thai. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so like out of them generic kind of takeaway kind of foods, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Mexican.
Italian
Mexican
is my lowest form, but that's that's only because I haven't been proven wrong yet. I haven't gone to an Italian restaurant where I'm like, bro, this is so banging.
If someone says to me, what do you want to eat now, right now, at any point in any day, I will say I want jollof. Yeah. And I want beef, and I want shaki.
Plantain. Plantain, yes.
Plantain as well.
I don't think there's a day go by that I wouldn't eat plantain.
No, you're right. Plantain is banging. Bro.
It's like sweet toffees. Do you know when it's done properly? It's so and like when it's like heavily ripened. Plantain as well. When it's going soft and black.
Yeah.
Yo, when my girl first moved in with me, I had plantain there. It was ripe.
Yeah.
She came in and she said, "Oh, I threw away that banana." What are you doing?
Oh, you ruined it. You know when you had plans for so long for that fucking plantain, bro.
It was green when I put it there, you know. It was green.
Yeah, why? That bad banana, I threw it out. I'd be so sour.
I was
I'd be so sour. You know what that's like, you know when you know you got some banging food and someone eats it and you're so excited all day to eat it, but it's like, no, it's just not there, bro. Sour.
The thing is, even bananas, when they're black, they're at their most
nutritious.
Oh
man, it's sweet, it's nice.
That's when they're the most.
You know, I swear down, true story. I slapped bananas in my fridge once, and they were in there so long that the fucking skin went black. Yeah. But when I opened them, they were fresh, bro. And it was weird. Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. It was the weirdest thing because everything on the outer was just black, but then you open it, it's just pure yellow.
It's funny that you opened it, like you were bothered.
Yeah, man. Because you know why? Because, bro, sometimes when it's just at that mushy point, that's when it's mad sweet, bro.
Yeah, but I don't like the
texture.
Sweet.
You get it.
The texture, I get, but you can make a banging smoothie with it when it's sweet like that.
Oh yeah, that's true. It gets to a point where you just have to cut them up and freeze them, man.
Yeah.
And cut them bitches up.
What's your top food?
If I had to put, do you know what? I'm a big Mexican fan. I'm a big Mexican fan. I love Mexican food.
Tacos, quesadillas, enchiladas.
I don't know what it's called, but it's a Mexican dish, and I don't know what it's called, but it's like you can have chicken, prawns, or I guess you can have other meat, but the ones I've had is chicken and prawn, and it's in like this spicy mango sauce, and it's just banging.
Well, it's just like
it's not like just like a plate with the meat and the sauce. It's like, so when I had it at this restaurant, this Mexican restaurant in Alpenton, it was like, you remember when we was in Portugal and then you had them prawns that were hanging down?
Oh yeah.
Imagine like that on a skewer and it was in like this mango kind of sauce kind of thing, yeah?
Okay.
But like spicy, and then you had like the salad, and then you had like these nachos on the side. But yeah, Mexican, I can't lie. I say my top 3, for me personally, I love Mexican food. This is no particular order though, but Mexican food. I love like Indian food. I love Indian food, bro.
Dansak.
Like there's so much, bro. A dansak, a pashwari naan bread, a keema naan.
Jeez.
Come on. And then probably
Prawn puri.
Biryani.
Third, I would probably say, I don't know what you class it, but I like American grill food. I don't know what you call it.
Burgers and shit.
Yeah, but like
American grill.
Yeah, I don't know what you call it. Yeah, like not necessarily hot dogs, but like, you know when you see a proper Southern American barbecue food, like the ribs.
Okay,
and all that. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what you call it.
It's like
Southern cuisine. I don't know.
I guess.
I don't know what you call it, but that kind of when you got the rack of ribs,
barbecue,
charred grill,
barbecue,
smoked, and it's falling off the bone, bro.
Yeah, that's when they smoked it.
Come on. And then you got the right glaze, the right fucking Jack Daniels barbecue sauce.
Yeah, and
come on,
man. Ribs.
Then you get the sweet potato fries.
Onion
Come
rings.
on, onion rings.
Oh.
Come on, bro.
We need to, this shit needs to open up. But they're saying next week though, 15th or some shit like that.
No, that's for non-essential.
Yeah, that's
not, but restaurants ain't involved in that.
Oh, so
they run about shops like like JD. Basically every shop that isn't a restaurant or a
Fuck
pub.
about JD, bro. Open up somewhere. I went to Five Guys.
Oh yeah,
Five Guys in Bromley's is open.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's expensive, but
Not to sit in though.
you know what? The burgers are heavy. The burgers
I don't even eat a burger when I go there. I get a hot dog.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Is it banging though?
It's banging.
Right, because I've not had a Five Guys burger. I was talking to my girl the other day, and she said how someone said to her that the Five Guys burgers are the best. Right?
You have to download that.
I've not had them. Not had them.
I don't know if they're the best.
Just think of.
I think
out
of GBK though, I think she was in the comparison of GBK. What's the other one?
Bro, meat and liquor.
Byron Burger.
Meat and liquor burgers are banging.
I've not had it.
Oh, Dulwich. There's one in Dulwich. On Lordship Lane there. Meat and liquor, their burgers are good. Bacon cheeseburger.
I've heard Hache is nice. It's a restaurant. It's a burger restaurant.
You ever had that Boulevard Burgers in Grove? Is it called Boulevard Burgers or something?
No.
I've not
You know where I'm on about? Opposite the train station.
Have you been flipping it? There's a
like a gay porn. Flipping dick.
Oh, do you know what? Tinsel. You ever been to Tinseltown?
Yeah.
Tinseltown on alright burgers, but.
Bro, we've been to Tinseltown.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Brother, that homeless brother had the
shoes. Bro, this homeless brother, yeah. This homeless brother, you're walking and you look at him and you think, this guy's homeless, but then you look down at his shoes, yeah, and you look like he got money, bro.
Like shiny.
The money was on his shoes, bro. So he really wrapped someone's shoes, yeah, or he was like, I don't need to stunt.
Yeah, bro.
My shoes say it all.
Shoes! Is it the shoes? Man, that's on Space Jam.
That's crazy, bro. Who got the best barbecue here, Jam?
Huh?
I've not had Korean barbecue either.
Best barbecue? I've not had Korean barbecue for a long time, but I will say American barbecue probably stands out the best to me.
Yeah.
But Turkish food.
Oh, how can I forget Turkish food? Do you know what? Turkish / Greek Cypriot food. I love it.
Yeah.
I love a Greek salad. I love a Turkish salad. I love hummus. Hummus when you get that. What's that bread called that Oz has? And when you get it in Turkaz, bro, when you got that, it's like that flat bread. Yeah. That with the fucking hummus, bro. You mad? Chickpeas, bro. I just like chickpeas, bro. Chickpeas are so useful, bro.
Chickpeas!
Do you know how much things you can slap chickpeas in, bro? And they're low carbs, low calories, all of that.
Do you remember Chick used to live on 2nd floor? I'm not gonna say her name.
Yeah.
Below us.
Yeah.
Yeah. She used to make this banging rice and chickpea with, I don't know what it was, whether it was chicken or mince or whatever. I can't remember, yeah, but it was ridiculous. And that's the first time I ever had chickpeas, yeah, and she turned me on to chickpeas. I didn't even know about hummus at this time. But she used to always, and it was just like, oh, I don't know where you're from Trinidad. Trinidad, Tobago. I don't even know what those people eat. I know they eat conch.
What's conch?
What's conch? Conch shells. Conch shells. We call them conch. Conch shells. But they call them conch.
What the hell is that?
What is it?
Conch shells. It's seafood, man.
Is it
It's like them big shells. It's hench and squally.
Oh, it looks like a clam.
Yeah. But no, it doesn't look like a
I've
clam.
never seen
It's
anything
cold.
in those things. I've only ever seen like.
But when you do,
That's always picked up.
it's tasty. In the Caribbean, they call them conchs. It's a conch.
Bro, that's because you get a conky pearl. It's a big pearl.
Yeah, no, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, bruv, there's food in there.
Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, bro. I don't know about all that. What the fuck is even?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what the thing
You know
itself
what,
looks like. What I know is the
I can't lie, I do like Thai food.
Thai,
I'm partial to a pad Thai.
green Thai curry, red Thai curry.
Red Thai curry. What do you prefer? The green and the red?
Are good. Red, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
I prefer green for some
Green
reason.
is just
I think because it's a bit more. It's got like that. You got like the lemongrass. You got like that flavour in it, bro. It's like
What are we saying about this Tyson Fury
Anthony Joshua.
AJ? Who wins?
Alright, first of all,
I don't know.
I personally think Tyson, but I'm annoyed that he's got to fight fucking what's his name?
Deontay.
Yeah, Deontay Wilder, brother, again for the what's that, the third time?
Yeah.
I just want to go straight to fucking. Bro, let Ruiz fight Deontay Wilder.
No,
let
Ruiz is gonna get murked, bro.
Yeah, but let him. Bro, no one's spoken about him, bro. Man was on top for like a week, bro. and then boom, he gets knocked out, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But I feel like, I mean, yeah, Anthony Joshua has gained a more patient, more technical style of boxing. But at the same time, Tyson Fury has always been patient, has always been technical, has always been like proficient.
Do you know how I've always looked at it? I've always thought, I like Joshua. I've always liked Joshua, but I've always thought Wilder would beat Joshua, but I've always thought Tyson would beat Wilder. So in my head, Tyson would beat Joshua because Wilder would beat Joshua. And that's just how I've always looked at it. I could be completely wrong.
You think?
Yeah, I could be wrong, but the time it's next year, isn't it? 2021, isn't it? Let's hope it's a better year.
Yeah, man. Anyway, anything else to add? He's done.
Está terminado. Mi trabajo aquí está hecho. Adiós, amigos. Gracias.
Adiós.